Vici Gaming's turn to pick.
What? Slacks, you alright?
I'm fine. Just...
We'll sit down later, so we'll talk our way through it.
So why is Jakiro good? Mostly just clear against Nature's Prophet. I've seen it mostly a response for that.
It's good in the lane too. Like you can spam your dual breath. You have a high mana pool. You can always be using it pretty much every time that he brings out Trance as well. And it's a hero that's gotten buffed several times. So that I didn't expect.
Normally, Lion's coming out with a clear need for either to disable or you're versing a Naga, one thing to do with the illusions. But interesting.
Gives him a lot of control.
DY has always liked playing the Lion. It's been one of his more commonly played heroes over this DPC season.
That's a very interesting change up in comparison to the last one where we see Vici pick their absolute most comfortable two heroes like you were mentioning, Slacks, and now NP's still up there, but the Lion, sure DY likes to play, but as an opener, it's definitely good out there.
To me, it suggests perhaps they're considering the Nature's Prophet as a 4 position, because if Shaman is not great as a 5.
Shaman not great as a 5. Have to agree with you there. You got to get all those items, get in people's faces as we saw last time, and they put a lot of priority on that hero. Lion, pretty good as a 5 though. Unless you're Yapsor and rushing first item Magnum Scepter, or me. But you think we're going to see that? And they're going to be farm prioritizing the Lion for some big items?
10 seconds remaining.
I guess we don't know exactly yet, but probably not.
Okay.
And you start saying it, I'm like, Fade might actually. Yeah, it sounds like something Fade might do.
Well, we've seen Fade do that kind of stuff, get very aggressive as we did.
I haven't seen him play much Lion.
I see.
He usually plays the harder 4 positions.
And there's no chance we have the pub mid Lion. No. Okay, well, I'm just bringing it up.
Instant no.
You don't have to just shoot it down.
Oh, I hate that. I hate seeing people pick mid Lion. It's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Oh, Drow Ranger has been banned. We will not be seeing that hero. However, we still have some pretty big hitters here. Morphling still available. Dusa still available. Terrorblade. In this series, these guys have just really focused on these supports and off-lane positions.
Yeah.
So, the final ban, the biggest moment of the match as both teams take their time.
Very tough, I feel like, to ban. I'm not too sure what to ban for Liquid because you don't really... Like, the information you've got right now is a bit weird.
Yeah, it's such a big pool of heroes that Paparazzi and Ori play. It's like, if you want to target a specific ban of them, it's like, what do you ban? Do you just ban the Dusa because you lost to it? I think that's, an okay idea. Yeah, maybe.
Monkey King isn't a bad pick either, right?
Well, they haven't gone for this all melee opener like they did in the first game. The Monkey doesn't feel as appealing because of that.
I think Liquid they can still take the Dusa for themselves. That's the only reason I'm not sure if they want to just ban it.
One hero that has not been touched at all, that we did see Vici Gaming succeed with before, was Weaver. They've run that bad boy a few times. Interesting here. He would have the ability to get out. Jakiro kind of have a hard time stopping him a little bit.
2 disables already for him, though.
That is true.
I'm not a big fan of the hero right now. I don't really like Weaver. It just seems like it's not as good as the other substitutes.
Yeah.
And especially like a player like Paparazzi, he loves Weaver. He really does, but he just feels so much better on like anything else personally. Even though he does own on the hero a lot of the times, just feels like kind of a waste of potential.
Yeah. One thing you have to still be afraid of sometimes with Vici is they will still bring out the Magnus combos.
Yeah.
That was what, banned in game 1, right? The Magnus?
I don't believe
no, not Magnus.
I don't believe.
Yeah, Magnus was available. And we're scared.
Something to be a little bit worried about.
So Liquid, they do have set up for Nagasarn if they want to go for it. They do just ban the Dusa though, like you were talking about. They have good team fight if they do want to have a Naga too. And it's okay. That's a lot of team fight.
There we go.
Naga Enigma. That's possible.
Yeah, they could take a 4th pick Naga, and then they have Naga Jakiro, which is already a really good combo. Naga Sand King, Naga Enigma, all good combos that can definitely come out.
Yeah, talk about some wombo here, man. This is just a lot of pain coming out. Is there a chance we can see something like a Faceless Void or some really amazing team fight carry hero coming out for Liquid?
I don't think so.
Double bubble, bro.
I think like Ame's like the only player that's really shown to play Void.
True. All right, Vici Gaming has plenty of options here, depending on where they want to go to. ROTK taking his time.
He's deep in thought. Look at that.
Look at that. That is an analyzing face right there. If only I could read lips. Hit it, gods.
I don't think lip reading's the problem for me here with this one.
What do you mean?
I don't speak the same language as him.
You don't?
Like, I could read lips, but I would not
You can still read Dota emotions.
Okay.
You could read feels.
read his face.
Do you believe in energies, spectrography, where they get your colored energy around your body?
I've seen that, yeah. You know, I don't know if I would say I believe in it.
I think this is a hero in preparation in case the Naga comes as well. It's also good in the game, but I think it's also just in case it does come out, because it's one that can deal with the illusions.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I mean, his ability to really run at anybody and kind of cut out the ability to have those big wombo combos is pretty strong. And so, nice pick there. Seems like they're doing a fair amount of magical damage. They got a lot of different options here. I always love the Ember Spirit in conjunction with the Nature's Prophet, because you have a backup plan. If things don't go great, the ability to split push and put out lanes and then still be able to fight is always there.
Yeah, I mean, right now you look at Vici and they're playing the tempo game, right? They want to be playing very fast-paced, playing away from Liquid's long cooldowns and just making stuff happen around the map and just picking Liquid apart, making them move around all over the place. Because that's, I mean, Ember and NP allow that to happen. Even Lion does. Lion's one of the best pick-off heroes on the side lanes.
Sure. But Team Liquid...
What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Morph? Is it gonna be Naga? Monkey King, all right.
Monkey King on Team Liquid.
Ooh.
Have we seen that too often?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And Machu's always been a pretty big Monkey King player.
Yep.
Okay.
And it is potentially just a hero they're picking up, trying to seek out that Monkey versus Ember matchup, since it is a lane counter. So depending on what Vici pick, where they expect the Ember to go, they may just try and match the lane.
So the big question here for Team Liquid, we have all this incredible team fight. Do you just all in on all this AoE? Do you go something like Invoker, something insane, and just solidify that we're going to fight all the time with these huge ultimates?
I mean, I'm still looking at the Naga Siren anyway.
Yeah.
It's just the best setup for their team. It sets up Monkey King, sets up Enigma, sets up Jakiro, sets up Sand King. It just, now it doesn't really have the best matchups. It's good versus the NP, but Lion, Ember, and Batrider are very good versus Naga Siren. And Vici's just looking, like I was saying, fast-paced. They're just looking pick off around the map, all over the place. Don't let Liquid actually get the group up together. And the Batrider just super enforces it.
Yeah, I love this Batrider pick. It's such a good matchup counter against so many of these heroes, and it's going to be such a good fast-paced hero to play around.
And now they have more vision, too. They're at okay vision, like NP can provide some, but Batrider provides you vision that you need versus Monkey King. You have that flying, you can see him inside the trees, you can cut his tree.
Hey, you guys are talking a lot of positives, but Mind Control did do super well with Batrider, and gods, according to you, a player that can succeed knows the weaknesses of the enemy Batrider. So, could have a way. He is talking a lot during the drafting process after that bat got picked up. Maybe they're going to solve that with their final pick.
See that Naga band out, I think you absolutely have to. Even if you have like some type of solutions for it, it's like, there's just way too much combo coming out from Liquid. You have to take that out.
We get to our last pick here from Vici Gaming. Let's talk about what they got and what they don't got. So, great initiation so far.
A little bit more tower push.
Yeah.
Tower push, Roche taking the objective taker, essentially.
Yeah, they don't really have much team fight together. They pick off, but...
Pickoff is good against a big team fight team. They need each other in conjunction to win these team fights. But then again, oh, there it is. Yeah. We did not talk about that Ori sniper. We talked about it all draft last game, but this game, that is pretty nice team fight. However, risky situation. If he gets caught by anybody on Liquid, that kid is dead.
And they can run this Monkey in a side lane if Liquid, when it gets, the Storm type pick here.
Super. Oh, it looks like immediately. Yeah, it looks like he knew something. Like he instantly was pointing or something.
Well, he said something to his team.
Yeah.
Could have been a I called it or oh no.
Or he probably wants to immediately say, okay, we're going to do these lanes. Like, do you want to send Batrider mid against the Brood or the Ember? Because Sniper is almost exclusively ran in that mid lane. But
oh god, that is quite a Brood pick.
Liquid with that 10 pick Brood, it's worked once this tournament.
I mean, yeah. Why are you so concerned, Fogged?
Because their heroes don't really like Broodmother much.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with Liquid in this game, because I think this Brood is just... It's not like the perfect 10 out of 10 insta-win Brood game, but it is very good, and Matu, one of the best Brood players of this tournament, he BDG with it.
10
Yep.
seconds remaining.
He's been playing so well this event. I think we're going to see a game 3.
Fogged.
Liquid could just run over this one. I'm gonna just stick with Vici just because I think the high ground defense. I think they still do have like crazy high ground, but I mean Brood could just completely run over the game, and it's probably likely to happen. But I'll split it up a little bit. We'll get a little disagreement going for once. There we go.
I am actually so excited. You guys are finally split. Could it be that we will see something crazy going on
These
here
last
today?
big Broods really do just win games, though, a lot of the time, especially when there's not best counters. But we'll see.
I suppose so. I mean, are you sure? I mean, you treat the sniper kind of like a draw ranger, where that's why it's so good?
I think it's an even better high ground defense, and they have Bat Rider. They have a lot of catch, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's interesting.
All right, sounds good. Well, we will find out if Team Liquid's specialty, the last pick Broodmother, is what they need to stay inside this major, or if that little spider is going to get stomped. Let's head on over to Capitalist and Blitz.
Yes, that's right. It seems the panel is split. We'll see whether or not this series ends up getting split as Liquid with the last pick, Broodmother. And it seems like our panelists were a little skeptical about whether or not Vici Gaming was going to be able to hold against this.
Yeah, I mean, this is like Liquid's trump card. It's always been, when our back's against the wall, we're going to brood you. And it happened today.
All right, well, we're going to see whether or not Liquid can perform game 2.
I need this like I need another pair
Prepare
of
for battle.
legs.
Vici Gaming up 1-0, but a last pick Broodmother. Makes things look pretty good. It's also the first time, I believe, that we've seen a sniper without a Drill Ranger in the game.
Is it?
I don't know. I feel like almost every single time I see sniper, it's because I've seen a drill. But maybe I'm wrong. Could be against an OD as well, I guess.
Thank you, Matu. As I think something that we noticed too is like Vici really likes these abilities to hit the tower, and then they want their heroes that can catch somebody while they try to defend the towers. So they love their Bat Riders, their Disruptors, these types of heroes that continue the play. It's like going for the and one in basketball.
Yeah. It seems like with the way they play, it was very effective against Team Liquid last game, where they just assumed a tower was going to be taken, but rather Vici Gaming would mass rotate all over the map and get extra pickoffs instead of taking that objective.
Yeah, it's about punishing Liquid's like greedier style, where oftentimes their cores like to play split up. Against lesser teams, I think it works, but against this Vici squad, at least in the last game, I mean, they caught them every single time. Plus, I just don't think they had enough damage on their supports. But this time, I think it's much better. Like, Earthshaker is one of those heroes, when you're ahead, it feels really, really good. Because it feels like he's doing a lot with his fissures. And when he's behind, it feels like he's done nothing in the game. You're echo slamming single targets. You're putting out like 300 damage in a team fight. It doesn't really feel that effective.
Same kind of thing for the Abaddon in that game, right? Where it's like from behind, you're providing a little bit of heal and maybe taking off and disable, but you're still getting run over. It doesn't change anything. Our mid lane matchup, you know, the panel was talking about RTK was very emphatic about something. We don't know what. They thought maybe it was going to be the lanes. Looks like we're going to stick with Paparazzi against Matapa Man's Broodmother. The Liquid chants coming out. Liquid indeed does have a lot of fans here, being former TI champs. But Blitz, you had something I think pretty interesting to say in the backstage about where you consider Liquid as a top tier team.
Oh, right now, like, the problem with Liquid is that I think I keep affording them a lot of respect based on their past accomplishments.
Yes.
And I give them such a wide berth because of their individual skill and who their captain is. So I just keep assuming even when they have bad results, they're going to eventually pick it up. But we just haven't really seen that. Like, this is not a team that you expect just a top 8 from. This is a team that you expect like a top 3 finish from consistently. And they just haven't really been able to find that kind of finish this season, as Mind Control going to get gone on temporarily.
Do it the setup where they're giving GH an actual solo lane right now, while Mind Control as a 3 position just plays jungle. So again, a very greedy Liquid style.
This game, I think, though, it's going to be a little bit harder to punish. Well, hopefully for Liquid, it's harder for Vici to punish this, just because they do have this mid Broodmother that isn't actually doing that well.
Oh, Ember Spirits crushing this matchup so far. 14-2 compared to 8-1.
You have to imagine some of those are spiderlings, but still, maybe that's what ROTK was emphatic about. He was telling Paparazzi, don't lose to these guys. Don't let them last pick brew to you. Show them why you keep winning these one-on-one tournaments.
Net worth remaining pretty even. A side lane sniper for Vici Gaming who's doing pretty well for himself, as Fox saying.
What is this?
See him in.
What is this?
A man trying to hide away in the trees. Needs to throw out another weapon. A sleight of fist actually finish him off. Paparazzi outplays the mid lane. It secures yet another first blood, as he's done so many times in his career.
That is a bad, bad man.
Paparazzi is not a dude to mess around with. Vici gonna start going on GH here.
Very unlikely kill.
Now,
As even with the stun, I think unless he's quite low.
that's definitely going to be a big boost to morale for Vici Gaming, as being able to beat this Broodmother in lane will help slow him down and slow down that, inevitable where he just kind of takes the mid tower and then he starts getting an extra farm. Miracle in serious trouble here with the sticky napalm on him. Yang just going to run him down underneath his tier 1 tower. Mind Control's going to try and save him here, but doesn't have the Malphus, and that is going to be a trade-off that Yang will gladly take.
Yeah, he's going to miss some XP too on Miracle. And Liquid, at least for the early laning phase, not really going their way. Sniper getting good farm. Ember Spirit getting that solo first blood, picking up quite a bit of CS himself. And Batrider with that solo kill. They've lost 2 of their lanes already.
Tumbaman doesn't even have the space to farm neutrals for free. It's Paparazzi just continues to stay on top of him at all points.
Yeah, he's just hounding him right now.
The sleight of fist build is doing so much work.
It's even better against Brood, because there's no reason to go for the chains. They'll be impossible to hit to begin with, as he's getting really low.
He's going to get knocked out of his sandstorm here, taking a lot of damage from Fade. He's going to try and finish him off here. Won't be able to get that last and final shot. There's still magic stick charges in there as well. So GH pops a healing salve. So a little bit surprised that they leave the Monkey King and are going to have kind of mind control. Is going to half babysit him, mostly just pull the lane back.
This is a really interesting style that they decided to go for, where GH is more of the 3 position this game, and mind control sort of babysitting a little bit.
Kuro instead chooses the lane with the Sand King here in bottom, but 5-minute bounty runes were coming up, but Kuro is going to be dead long before that. GH doesn't even want to run into the shrapnels here as the Ice Path does go out. They manage to get that kill, but GH is going to slide on in, pick up that bounty rune, might be able to get the other one as well as he burrow strikes up, but Fade is there. And now, because he doesn't have burrow strike, all Fade has to do is body block him just a little bit, and that will be a second kill for Vici.
And now it's 4-1. Yang still doing perfectly fine in this top lane. He's beating Miracle and CS. He's got that solo kill like we talked about. Mid lane, Matama-man is continuing to do Brood things, so he will catch up. If you're a Liquid fan, you shouldn't stress too much about Matama-man's game.
Spots DY. DY will be able to get a really good impale, hitting Spiderlings as well as the Broodmother.
Yeah, Matama-man's just not going to continue to go for this. As Paparazzi hanging around this area as Fade now finds Kuro. Might just go for the Sprout. The Ember Spirit's also making his way forward, but in fact they disengage. It looks like Paparazzi wants to just continue to put pressure on this mid lane. Top lane getting pretty heavily harassed right now. The Catapult being protected right now.
Good use of the Eidolons. You may be suiciding them, but it's keeping the Siege Wagon alive long enough for them to take this tier 1 town. Let make sure to mouth this Yang so he can't get the deny.
Very well done by Liquid.
Do you think this switch up of mind control being top and this really weird laning setup that we don't see from Liquid, you think some of this comes down to what Kuro was saying in a recent interview where he said, we won TI, we're an older team, everyone's seen us, everyone's seen how we play, they've studied us, we have to be able to find different ways to be able to surprise our enemies. Burrow strike out, Sandstorm right on top of the Sniper right now, does have another round of shrapnel, but with the Monkey King, they finished up that tier 1 tower, and you could see why they had that urgency. It allows Miracle to rotate out and help get the kill at bottom.
That was well done by Miracle. And just good rotation to continue to be very aggressive, get active on the map as Paparazzi using that DD rune, trying to get Spiderlings out.
Another 3 seconds for another slight. 12 spiders have died, so not too many.
It's only 90 gold.
Yeah, that's not too bad. So it goes to show that, like, a lot of Paparazzi's net worth, it's not because Matama Man's feeding away spiders nonstop, it's just because he's owning the lane and getting all the CS. Trying to farm up this hard cam stack. DY throws out an impale. We'll take 1 or 2 of them, but most of it, all GHs. It's an early level 5 for him. He's still maxing out Sandstorm. So he's going to be playing a very farm-heavy Sand King, it seems.
I think it sort of works in this game. Especially since Mind Control's taking that top tower, nobody really feels comfortable being up there. Like, you're probably not ever going to send a sniper up there. There's just too many ways for him to die at this point.
Yeah.
And so now the map's more freed up.
Medallion can make very short work of these supports, but Yang was brought the trap. He's going to be able to slow down this Broodmother. He still managed to get the kill, but if they can just keep sticking Napalm, but he's too damn fast. Now the Burrow Strike on it too. With the Sandstorm as well, the Ice Path, that's a lot of AoE damage. Fade is forced to run himself away while Paparazzi with a Haste Rune continues to fight. Despite that initiation.
Yeah, that's just what Broodmother does. With the Medallion, supports just aren't safe.
No.
You can stun them up, but if you're in the webs, you're most likely just dead. And Miracle now, giving himself a free lane, has recovered since that early start where he was killed. And that's thanks to Mind Control coming up there, Helm of dominating that creep and making life easy for himself as Ori. They want to make the move on to Miracle. They miss on both spells.
Shrapnel and Sprout both are whiffing. This is a bit of a problem for this sniper. As the Vici Gaming side lane sniper, they're having to commit so many resources, so many heroes to make sure he stays safe because, I mean, it's just not the lane you want to be in as a sniper. You want to be in a small, short lane where you're not very far from your tower. Curl throws out the Ice Path, will be able to get the stun on Paparazzi, but Paparazzi's just going to run down Curl. Seems like no one from Liquid will try and save their captain as he just continues to cut the way. Bottom lane, though, Monkey King are going to be in trouble here until GH arrives. Vici Gaming seeing that teleport in back up.
I mean, they keep trying to go for him, but he's got 1,000 HP and 20 stick charges. A very unlikely kill to be had on a Miracle.
10-minute bounties are coming up here. DY's in an awkward spot. It's the Helmet Dominator. Centaur will be able to get the stun to ensure the kill. Paparazzi's now going to show up and try and even up the scoreboard here. See if he can kill Mind Control, but all these... on the other sphere. He's dropping low and fast. Just managed to get off the big slide of fist. It's going to last a while before he jumps away to his remnant. Mind Control will eventually take out here. That black hole was good, but they didn't have the damage to be able to find anything there. The Ember Spear in his phase boots build, that armor, allowed him to tank up against those Spiderlings and the Broodmother for so long.
They did lose the sniper during this time, so
that's true.
Gold change is not bad at all for Liquid.
Oh, top lane, Fade trying to go for the teleport out. Not quite enough tick damage there.
And he does have a TP up if he wants to go on Kuro in this top lane, but it looks like Gang's got this wrapped up by himself.
Yeah, he's got this pretty easily. There is 10 stick charges, but you know, Kuro, you're still dead. You just bought yourself 2 more seconds.
And bottom lane, Fade actually TP bot towards this Monkey King.
He knows he's in trouble, trying to get off the Wukong's command out. There's going to be too many disables here. Gets off at least the stun, but can't separate himself from Paparazzi, who shows up, gets the kill, and will run back to his remnant here in mid lane.
Still perfectly fine from Liquid. Every single time somebody does die, they are creating space in some way. A much more successful start to the lanes in game number 2. Score is 5-8, but a little bit deceiving because Liquid, they've got the tower down. And it just continues to hit.
This fight never ends.
Just gonna...
It's never ending. Now he's got another one.
Just gonna...
How can you actually stop this? The Ice Path? Oh, no instant disable there. Meanwhile, they do manage to get an impale on GH. He's got Burst Strike as well as the Sandstorm. How can you push into that with your Eidolons and Spiderlings? And Paparazzi's just able to do sleight of fist after sleight of fist.
That genuinely felt infinite. All right, we'll just keep doing that, I guess.
I mean, it's a great hero to defend this mid tower at this point. And they're going to use the other heroes of Vici Gaming to be able to catch Miracle again. Last time he overextended himself. This time he's just straight up ganked by 4. And a double damage rune will make that mid tower even easier to defend for Paparazzi.
Good news, though, for Liquid is that GH almost has that Blink Dagger. They're still being very greedy on the map, so even with the kill disadvantage, they're still getting something at all times. Either somebody's hitting jungle creeps, and Matama Man actually going for a very interesting build here, opting to go for a full-on pipe.
I mean, that'll help protect against a lot of this magic damage, whether it's going to be this all this fire damage from the Bat Rider or the Maelstrom's going to be coming in soon. Spiders do die. But the Maelstrom that's going to be a lot of magic damage. Oh, he actually switches up. He had Maelstrom earlier. Now thinks Battlefear is going to be the better choice.
Let me just say, after he saw how many times his hero bounced, I think there's almost no chance. I think once those 2 hits happened, he convinced himself that it was a good idea.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he's entirely wrong.
I mean, all he has to do is just hold these towers up, right?
Yeah.
Like, eventually, Vici Gaming is going to get to a point where the sniper is super scary.
Plus, I think he saw that because of the pipe, he figures his Maelstrom is also just going to be less effective.
I think the pipe really affected his decision. Kuro, dead again to Yang, who keeps on finding the captain of Team Liquid.
Yang's been a boss this game.
Yeah.
Second in net worth in this game overall. This mid tower, nice deny. This is the second game in a row where they've gotten it, and they're trying to set up as Miracle hiding in the wings, but unable to do anything. Yang now picks up his blink.
He destroyed this matchup. He took the mid tower before the Broodmother could.
Yeah, he was real good in it. Plus, he got that solo kill.
Yeah. Still, though, as you said, Team Liquid just greeting it out. They have like 3 different heroes who can farm neutrals at any point. And as a result, they're not behind in net worth, even though they are very far behind in kills. And are not even on towers, it looks like. Good to travel. Blink. Yang can continue to make big plays. They're going to be able to find the 3rd pick-off on Miracle over the last, 5 minutes. Miracle's farm has just been stalled out now.
If it was the Fade and DY show last game, it is the Yang show right now.
Yeah.
Yang is doing whatever he wants around the map. It feels like every time we see him show up on the map, he is getting a kill. And this is just the cost of how Liquid decides to play Dota in this series. We're never really going to be the aggressors. We'll sit back, we'll split up and farm, and hopefully we just kind of win by being a little bit greedier than you.
It seems a weird decision to make, to play that kind of style, considering it seems like the worst kind of style to play against Vici Gaming, who is so adept at being able to find these non-stop pickoffs all over the map.
I think in this game, who knows? As Vici, Yang is looking for it again. GH trying to get the hell out. As he still has a tower that he can play behind. Does have Sandstorm. He's got a Blink Dagger. He wants his team, I think, to rotate for this. This is still a healthy tower for them to defend.
They do not want to give up another tower. GH is not going to be able to get off the Sandstorm inside. DY immediately just blows out the Finger of Death. They want to burst down the Sand King before the rotations can come out from Team Liquid. But Team Liquid aren't actually defending this tower. They're going to go straight towards, well, they were going towards mid. Now they're going to smoke up.
Now this bottom tower.
Fighting into Yang. That's a big kill. They do manage to get damage on him before he can blink away. Now the Ice Path to hold him in place inside the Wukong's command. They're going to run out of cliff area here, but the Wukong's command should be enough to finish him off. DY gets a stun onto the Monkey King, but Mind Control has DY well in his hands. 7-12 now.
Nicely done. And they needed to slow down the Bat Rider's momentum. And Miracle's now going to be able to defend this bottom lane. Good job by Liquid. They're going to take back the very slight gold lead that they have.
Ori has just been chilling out in this triangle. Every single time we looked at him, he's just farming away in this area. He's got Mask of Madness. A Maelstrom's going to be up soon for him.
The Monkey King connects a little bit too late, as we see.
His heat map is super simple.
Go bottom, die twice, farm out the jungle.
Speaking of bottom, Liquid, they're getting a big push here in bottom lane. Miracle's just going to hang out in the trees to make sure Mind Control will be able to get this tower. Mid is also taking a lot of damage to Spiderlings right now. Very surprised that Ember Spirit has left that, considering how long he's held. You can see Matamaman, he's like a little bit scared.
He says correctly, goes to his left. We'll make it out, no problem.
Matamaman, thanks to taking that mid tower, now has an Orchid, has also taken the top net worth slot.
Oh, he's actually quite farmed now. This is going to be a really nice counter to the Ember Spirit, who is not even close to a defensive item.
Is under attack.
A very fast Battle Fury, and look at him, just an all physical damage build now. Think about
Roshan?
Deso next.
Yeah, they're thinking about roaching, and they are, in fact, in the pit. And I don't know if Vici knows about this at all.
It doesn't seem like it, because they have a haste rune on this Ember Spirit. If he ran into that pit, I think he could single-handedly defend.
But no scan or anything like that, and I mean, Vici, they might think that there's a smoke happening, and now some things are happening. They are going to scan successfully, but Roshan already at 2,000 HP.
Burrow strike out, follow up Ice Path, just enough to force Paparazzi out of this mid area and ensure that they can finish up Roshan here. The rotations are going to come too slow from Vici.
I like that move a lot from the two supports on Liquid. That was one of those moves that there's no intention to kill at all. It's just to scare.
Yeah.
It absolutely secures them to Roshan. Well done by Liquid. And their strategy for game 2, which they try to execute for game 1, is much more successful in this game. Like, just cleaner play overall. No one's getting caught that badly. Last game, it just felt like it was a feeding frenzy.
The double global strat is going to be able to catch GH here. Fade sent his treants down to bottom lane and then teleported himself. Yang, meanwhile, Boots traveled onto those treants. And so there was nobody bottom just, 20 seconds ago. Now there's a kill squad with GH's name on their list.
Still, with an Orchid on Matamaman, will go unchallenged for quite some time. I don't think the Ember Spirit, once he notices this, should sort of swerve a little bit.
Yeah, you should go Lincolns at that point, right?
Even BKB, I think, is perfectly acceptable.
Oh, yeah, I'm down. Especially considering you just have no other Lincoln's disables, right? Burrow Strike can go through. Boundless Strike, same thing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
BKB is up next for Matamaman. Bit of split pushing as Vici Gaming's game has slowed down a lot when it comes to they didn't defend towers as much. They gave up Roshan as well. Seems a bit uncharacteristic to me anyway.
Fade
Radiant's
places a
bottom
ward
tower is under attack.
where the tier 1 tower used to be. As stun comes out, it's just the illusion. Liquid got excited there for a second, thought they found somebody. But Vici being very careful around the Aegis of Liquid.
And no, he just continues to go for the Deso. His Spawn out, Mythal Hammer, as well as the Orb. You got a smoke up now from Vici Gaming, a 4-man smoke. The Furion can show himself top lane and still join his team. It looks like they're going to get the pick off on Kuro here. Vici Gaming having no qualms about smoking up and just getting whatever pick off presents itself. But now the Furion runs into mind control. Seems like both of them were a little surprised by that.
Are fortified. Radiant's
His
bottom
Fade
tower
certainly
is
doesn't
under
have
attack.
anything. He's only got a Spirit Vessel. That's it. They're going to jump into mid lane and find a big pick off on the Sniper. That is one of the two cores that can defend these towers. The other one being that Ember Spirit, who's currently residing in bottom lane.
Really nice aggressive move there. Ori stood absolutely no chance as Miracle just continues to hunt. I think they don't want to get into a high ground situation against a bad Ember Sniper with the cores that they have. I mean, the Enigma is going to be really good in this game because they don't have the easiest way to cancel them out. But everybody else, I think, on the side of Vici wants to play this out late. Like, they'll be really happy having the cores that they have. Because we know that Broodmother falls off. We know that Monkey King eventually will have a hard time once his BKB charges get low.
Yeah, how are you going to stop this BKB Enigma? Mind Control almost has it here. Yang spots him for a moment. Blink for Blink is going to be able to catch up to Mind Control here. Gets the lasso. Now he's going to be taking a lot of damage from the Idolizer. There's also the Centaur stun as well. Miracle's going to be able to get the Boundless Strike. DY tries to come in. Stuns up the Centaur. GH will follow up though. Has the Burrow Strike. Yeah, he's got a pick off, but it's going to be Yang who dies, and now potentially DY as well as he tries to run up to the high ground, gets the stun onto the Sand King, but 3 seconds for the Blink Dagger. Miracles here as well. Gets the Jingu stacks. A double kill for the Monkey King as Liquid just start marching down the lanes. They're going to head towards mid, where this Battle Fury can do a lot to defend. Immediately, Matumba Man, as he takes too much damage, pops his lifesteal, gets back up to full. The rest of his team will join him on this hunt for the Tier 2 tower.
That was very well done by Miracle. He connected so quickly to mind control, didn't just give up on his friend. And the Aegis is going to fade before they get some sort of high ground attempt going, but they've used it just to build their net worth lead, get some towers out of the way. They might even get this Tier 2 tower up at top. This removes all but one Tier 2 tower that Vici have to play with. And just very well done by Liquid. Much more controlled game than we saw in game number 1.
And now this is looking like the Broodmother game that the panel were expecting, where the Broodmother starts taking over a bit. It was delayed because of a rough laning phase.
And she could also just die right now.
That's true.
She doesn't have BKB.
No Aegis
is
now.
1 second. It's just gone right now.
He's got BKB, and he's not going to be able to get out the pipe fast enough. He's going to get the disables. They're going to burst him down so quickly. Spoke too soon, it seems, as now Matumba Man is dead for a full minute. Liquid are going to reside on this high ground, though, not retreating just yet.
They're willing to fight 4 on 5, I guess. Without the Bat Rider grip, is Shrapnel's laid out. Miracle in a very good position, provided he doesn't get caught in those trees. He would instantly make the fight a 4 on 4. If one of the supports just run into him.
DY trying to get vision up into this high ground. Miracle will drop down, daring to get a little bit more aggressive. You could see the Bat Rider. I think he had a good idea of where the Monkey King was. Like, that's where he would hide, and try to go for breaking down the trees with a fast blink play.
A lot of pings right now. It looks like Tier 2 tower was just taken passively. Yeah. Okay, with the Treants. Nobody from Liquid went back to defend.
Yeah, they didn't want to give up their aggressive positioning, especially with the bounty runes coming up.
Yeah, now they 2 seconds ago, I mean, they had a 5k gold lead. And with the pickoff on Matumba Man and the Tier 2 tower, all of a sudden, it's decreased quite a bit. The bounty runes now being picked up. Relatively even.
Oh, this is just a casual buckler, it seems.
He had the Crimson Guard queued up first, but I think because of the game state, he decided to change things up, as DY most likely dead here. In fact, he certainly is.
Oh, the Orchid onto Paparazzi is going to wear out, though. Will be able to get the Sleight of Fist and gets the control onto the Broodmother. Ori was here, but they don't feel strong enough to take the damage onto Matumba Man, because that lifesteal on the creep wave can help sustain him.
Yeah, Yang has come in, though, and it is indeed going to be a BKB by Paparazzi. I think he just assumes with the amount of armor he has in the stats that if the Brood catches him solo, he's still going to live.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a greedier, hard call to make, but
it seems to have worked. He hasn't died to that Broodmother solo kill yet.
Nope, and he's still top net worth in the game. We're starting to get 4 staffs out on the side of Vici too, to be able to disengage from these 2 melee cores. And Liquid, I think, are sort of on a timer because of this. Like, they have multiple ways to disengage on the side of Vici, and I think that mobile cores just win out in Dota. Like, Ember, I think, will eventually be able to just win this game by himself. The X factor, of course, is the Enigma, where they don't have the easiest ways to cancel the black hole. I could very easily see Mind Control win this game too, but if I'm Liquid, I'd still want to play a little bit faster.
Maybe be trying to do that as I see the courier flying out. It's probably going to be some sort of, maybe not. Say TP up to top lane.
That's another big power spike, the BKB on the Monkey King.
Oh, yeah.
It now adds 3 BKB targets. I think all 3 cores of Liquid have BKB.
Yeah, now I was about to say, now we're getting some real spider gold. 500 gold plus for the Atmosphere over the course of this game.
Is that a lot? It's not that
shabby.
Much. Oh, the Eidolons, though.
Yeah, the Eidolons.
24 Eidolons lead to like half the gold.
Yeah, that's 1,000 of his gold, of his 15k net worth, is just purely from this extra bit being spawned by Liquid. Oh, what a pickoff this would be if they could actually find it, but they're going to smoke in the wrong direction here.
Dire's bottom
I'm not sure
tower
what
is
that
under
positioning
attack.
was from Ori. It just seemed like he was kind of AFK, but...
Paparazzi gonna go for the TP out,
he might be
and
a little
it's
too late.
Yep.
The smoke pops and GH just dives into the trees here. Little do they know, like, oh, hey, there's a lion. Not really what they wanted out of this for sure.
Yeah, DY is incredibly fed. I think Paparazzi just coincidentally TP'd out,
I think so, too.
judging by how DY just ran in there.
I mean, a better pickoff would lead to a guaranteed Roshan, but with the double damage now being taken away, nice Jewel Scepter going to be able to get away before GH can burrow strike.
But still, they found the angle now.
Dude, they found the sniper. BKB is going to be activated here. They're trying to finish him off. The lasso goes down. That's where Matoma Man's going to take up the chase and try and finish off this damage dealer. He's running out of webs, or he's trying to juke him out right now and stay on top of the sniper and finish him off. But at the same time, mind control gets a little bit low. Paparazzi wasn't quite able to finish anybody up on the side of Liquid. They can play around this shrine. They have the buyback coming out from the sniper, and it looks like he may have already sent it by the epicenter. The epicenter. GH not finding the bro strike, though. Needs to be able to get to the back line. Paparazzi and Ori playing away from Miracle. Does have the Jingu Stacks, need to be able to swing on somebody, has the lifesteal, but he's dropping a little bit low. Lion is bought back as well. Fade's trying to get away, but Curl stays on top of him, giving up his life potentially to be able to ensure this kill, but Fade stays alive. They barely save him just in time. Team Liquid, they lose their captain, and they get out. They say, we forced a lot of buybacks. That was well worth it for us.
And that's why Vici, they're going to continue to try to push the issue. Fade instantly TP's back. They want to continue to play around this Roche Pit area, as Ori and DY did buy back for that, so the overall net worth swing does still go in favor of Liquid. But Roshan, the bigger objective, as Vici, they're pinging. They still have Black Hole on the side of Liquid.
They use these buybacks. They cannot afford to give up Roshan like this. Vici Gaming. They also can't take Roshan themselves, so they're at a bit of a stalemate until Liquid.
They're just going to wait for Jakiro to come back and take the fight again.
Yeah.
They still have Black Hole.
Fade does have a force down. He'll be okay. Love the choice of multiple force downs here from Vici Gaming. They got to get away from the Broodmother, out of the Wukong's command as often as possible. But again, Liquid, they're the ones who can really determine when the fight happens here. They're going to jump in, burrow strike out to the side. Matoma trying to finish well, mind control. BKB activated, just going to use the Black Hole. Ensure the Ember Spirit kills because they know he doesn't have life. Now they found Ori as well. Ori in the back line's going to get burrow strike up. He's dead. Now Miracle chases down Yang. This is all three cores of Vici Gaming just dying like this. Bat Rider does manage to juke it out for a moment, blinks away, tries to TP out. He'll be okay as Miracle can't find the kill fast enough. But the two important kills in the Sniper and the Ember Spirit, neither one has buyback.
I love Liquid right now because they just dared Vici to come into the Roshan pit, and they knew that Mind Control still had BKB ulti, and they played around that fact.
Yeah.
They knew that there was no Bat Rider grip. They knew that Mind Control had BKB ulti. They finally went for some sort of aggressive play in this series, and it pays off big time. And Ori has no way to protect himself right now from the two cores of Liquid. Liquid still have to be careful because the sniper can still repel them. He's dead for 30, but their high ground defense on the side of Vici is still scary. But big win overall for Liquid so far.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
16 to 17, 7,000 net worth lead, and now we're going to find an extra kill as Yang is going to be saved by the force staff coming out from Fade, and they do manage to get a decent stun on Matamba Man. Miracle making sure they don't have an opportunity to go on his mid laner, threatening the Wukong's command, and Vici Gaming can't really fight into that, especially without their Sniper and Ember Spirit, who are just about to come up, but just a bit too late to be able to save the melee batters. The Dual Scepter nearly stopping that battle line from being able to pull Matamba Man to his death. Matamba Man, but he's falling deep. He stays alive. Miracle, he fights him back with the BKB, but Ori's on his way. He needs to be able to jump away into the trees, and he does so before the sleight of fist damage comes out.
That was that cheese timing, right?
Beautiful cheese, just in time, and that's, I think, in large part, the Yule Scepter. If he'd been pulled back a little bit closer to Vici Gaming, then Matamba Man dies before he can get off that heal.
And that felt instantaneous from GH as a response.
So good. Team Liquid. They continue to be aggressive. Oh, I really love this.
They still have Aegis.
They know that Vici Gaming is just one fight away from losing this game with no buyback on the Sniper right now. And the Ember Spirit, he wasn't able to buy back last time because of gold. And it's not like he's had a whole lot of time to farm here as Liquid just keep on pushing the pace against them.
And Liquid have to learn from the mistakes of VP, as we see right here.
The instant Yule Scepter coming out.
How low did he get?
And he got
100?
so low, about 120 HP. I mean, even if he's just pulled into tier 4 tower range at that point.
Didn't they have finger?
Dire's top shrine is under
I
attack.
felt like they had finger plus Aether Lens. That probably was a kill.
Yeah.
Maybe they just got a little bit greedy here as Curl might just get caught out.
Pick off with the Wrath of Nature into Yang, being able to pull him in with the lasso. With the Wrath of Nature damage, it actually got soaked up by too many creeps. They don't get it. That means they get the silver lining. The Ice Path comes out. Mako Fire as well. GH with the epicenter, not going to be able to catch up to Yang. Yang flies away to the trees, but eventually the Firefly wears out. Yule Scepter going to be caught in damage, unable to blink away. Trying to go for the 5 position, ends up giving away their 3. Not exactly what Vici Gaming was looking for.
Not at all. I think they thought that the Wrath of Nature was going to come in at any moment. Just those 2 heroes alone, not quite enough to kill the captain, as 2 minutes still remain, and this is a long 2 minutes. This should lead to the tier 2, and potentially even a high ground attempt with the Bat Rider still dead for 30. At least the tier 2 will be completely uncontested. Matama Man going for that Nullifier, going for his own mini Doom build, or he'll have the Orchid and the Nullifier to be able to go on either the Ember Spirit or the Sniper.
And they're so dependent on those 4 staffs that just being able to save one of them. Oh, what an opportunity here as they found the Ember Spirit with the first strike, follow us ice. And they have the Malphus as well, and Ember Spirit's not able to jump away in time. He does have buyback, but Liquid, they're certainly going to force it out of him.
And still a minute and a half on this Aegis from Miracle. Just a much cleaner team game from Liquid.
Miracle hopping through the trees here. He's got to be careful, though. He jumps too close to the Bat Rider. He's going to cut down the tree. That's an opportunity. Or he immediately pops the BKB and starts laying damage into Miracle as fast as possible. Can they finish him up in time, though? The Balanced Strike with the lifesteal is able to give him a big boost of HP, and he will be able to back up. He's not losing that Aegis just yet.
Good discipline is Liquid. They pop the pipe. They get everybody out. They didn't have to lose anybody for that. That was the big buyback on the paparazzi.
And they can go ahead and grab that Nullifier as well.
And they still have BKB Black Hole.
Yeah. And we still really don't have an answer from Vici Gaming for that.
Are scanning.
Nothing will stand in my way.
Are scanning.
I think in this game, Vici just assumed they'd be able to like hold the high ground infinitely.
Yeah.
With the heroes that they had, and they weren't being too greedy because they've got the global presence of the Bat, Ember, and the Nature's Prophet to be able to set up for pickoffs. I think that was the reasoning behind it. Things just kind of went way too chaotic for them way too quickly. Especially that Roche engagement.
Yeah. Scotty is going to be up for Miracle. And in general, Team Liquid's just tanking up quite a bit now that we have the Crimson Guard up for the Sand King. Vici Gaming is so reliant on just being able to burst somebody down when they find the initiation from the Bat Rider.
If there's a team that's able to play Broodmother, it's Liquid.
Yeah, certainly. As he's got a build that can get on top of the Sniper now with a Blink Dagger, Orchid, Nullifier. If he can't PKB and he can't Force Staff, he's pretty much food for the Brood.
And Yang was looking for him, but the instant blink out, GH pressing forward. He wants to be aggressive here. And look how far forward Kuroki is. Not concerned at all at this point. And I love how he's just kind of running at them. Completely unafraid. Probably especially after that last engagement at bottom.
Yeah.
Where he got Bat Rider ulted, got on by the Nature's Prophet.
I like the fact that the gem investment, even though Vici Gaming has been losing this game for a bit, you have to make sure the vision is cleared out from Team Liquid. It's the only way that Sniper and Ember Spirit are going to be able to play this game is if they can juke the initiation from Team Liquid. If Liquid is just blind to where those 2 cores are.
Especially with no buyback.
Yeah.
And now it's a 14k lead for Liquid.
Pushing out together, trying to get a war kill here. They are going to be able to get the Hex out. The Sand King is going to get blown up almost immediately, but the backline is also caught as mind control comes forward with Shiva's Black Hole immediately used, but the Horse is actually saving Ori. It's going to be a complete whiff. They are going to back up on the side of Team Liquid. They've only lost 1 here. Somebody recovered that gem, though. They want to make sure that Vici Gaming are not able to reclaim that. And sure enough, they aren't. That's also Vici Gaming using a buyback there. But Matama Ben sees the opportunity to use his Blink Orchid as well as his extra bit, but the blackout of the Sprout making sure that Liquid can't really pursue. They want to be able to get some vision of these Liquid heroes.
And Miracle, I mean, he thought about going on to Yang there. And with the gem pickup and a kill on the Batrider, that's going to be an overall gold win for Liquid, who just continue to snowball.
Yeah. I mean, even when things go badly for Liquid at this point,
They're still going pretty good.
it's still like they, with the black hole, they still won the fight.
We're finally, most likely, I don't want to jinx it, going to get a game 3. We've had 2 main stage days that have all gone 2-0. We might finally get a game 3 if we're lucky.
Hurricane Pike. You can see Ori is very far behind, and he's forced to use that little amount of net worth that he has to invest into a very defensive item in this Hurricane Pike. Just wants to be able to keep his distance from this Monkey King and Broodmother when possible. GH is able to pop the Sandstorm in time because of the loss of the gem. They couldn't find the initiation, and now with Matama Man on the front lines, I don't think Vici Gaming want to be able to take this. GH blinks forward pretty fearlessly. They are going to be able to get the lasso. Broodmother being focused down right now. They need to be able to get the Hags follow up Impale as well. They need to be able to burst him, and they'll do so with a finger of death. But now the Wukong's command is out. That's where the Hurricane Pike from Ori comes activated. He's able to get out of that Wukong's command. And there's no further chase. They're just going to be able to take Curl out of the equation pretty quickly. A nice 2-man pickoff to the favor of Vici Gaming, maybe more. Mind control with the Spirit Vessel on him is unable to blink away right now. And Fade just keeping tabs on him. Doesn't have boots though, so he can't actually keep up.
And it's in fact the Enigma that has the gem, so not the worst case situation, but Liquid still have to be careful with this lead. The Batrider looking once again Yang, trying to see what he can find. For Liquid, they have to get on top of Ori. You saw that Matama Man got a little bit anxious and he went on a Yang, used his Orchid on him. They waited 2 seconds, they re-engaged into the fight onto Matama Man. Everyone popped BKBs, so the Epicenter wasn't able to do anything. And with the amount of Force Staffs they have, getting out of the Monkey King ulti was no problem.
Yeah. Really sick by Vici Gaming, the way they've been able to disengage. Great itemization in that regard. But they're still missing some damage. A lot comes out from this Ember Spirit. Unfortunately, the Sniper not able to do quite as much. A full Daedalus will certainly help, though, for the Ember Spirit if he can get it. As Paparazzi's actually neck and neck with the Matamba Man Broodmother net worth.
And a DD rune at bottom. Fade's going to see this.
He's going to see that. He's also going to see the bounty rune.
He's going to grab that for himself as Curl actually 4 steps forward. But
GH finds the Lion, Ghost Scepter, and thought about going for the TP out, but then he saw Mind Control was super close by, and he dies either way.
yeah, absolutely no chance that DY gets out of there.
Now, if you're Liquid, you're just presumably controlling the game until Roche.
Yeah, I think so. You probably don't want to risk another one of those fights because Sniper, Batrider, Ember is still always scary. Like fighting into those 3 heroes, especially if Batrider gets a BKB at some point, it's not the easiest. You'd have to commit like a black hole just to be able to stop him from dragging somebody back.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a Yule's counterplay as a result. So I think Liquid is doing the right thing here. I mean, they're in a do or die situation right now. Just by being a little bit more careful, waiting a minute or 2. They just watched VP series. Like VP had that game 2 wrapped up. But being impatient, they just lost it.
Yeah.
So Liquid's trying not to do the same. And conversely for Vici, the longer this game goes, the more comfortable everyone's going to get playing. They'll finally get more items. Paparazzi will pick up that big item in the Daedalus. They'll get levels. The BKBs will start to get lower on the side of Liquid. So I'd still say it's very favored towards Liquid.
Certainly with a 14,000 net worth lead, you would expect so, but Vici Gaming, they're a tough team to break, as you can see the win probability. Stretching up above 90% now.
I think the Roshan will matter the most, though.
Yeah.
This is the third one, too.
Not give this up, right?
Yeah, this is the third one as well. This will be the refresher. You can't stop Mind Control to begin with. I think giving it up twice is conceding defeat at this point.
But Vici Gaming are not showing any plans of defending here.
This is going to be dead even if they were to move right now. And the train's going to come in, but they'll realize their folly here in a second. Liquid aren't going for a smoke. They are, in fact, claiming this Aegis for themselves. It is taking a little bit, but
Vici are going, there's no way we can go for it. I mean, it's a hard fight to take as well. You naturally want to be able to just play for high ground with an Ember sniper cores. Like, you really don't want to go outside of your base too much at this point. But it does mean you're going to have to give up Aegis Cheese Refresher Shard. Nice catch here. GH using his Yule Scepter to be able to stall out Yang's retreat. Follow up with a Burrow Strike here. Now, no Firefly to hide in the trees, so Mind Control will join GH. Very nicely done by the forward position of Team Liquid, finding the pickoffs once again.
And Yang's got no buyback, right?
Yes. 90 seconds.
Yep. This is now, oh man, Yang. He was just trying to force them back, but Liquid, they're just going to push really quickly. Now, Vici, they've struggled with the 5-on-5 with the Batrider, who's their main form of Disable. Now you've got to do it without him for another 70 seconds. There's an Aegis Cheese, a Refresher on Mind Control. I mean, every odd is stacked against you at this point.
Miracle leading the way, but it's not going to be him hitting that tier 3. They can leave that up to Matumba Man with the Aegis.
Enigma's gratitude.
As he starts approaching, pops the Crimson Guard preemptively. Here's they jump in. GH is able to find Fade initially. Has the Sandstorm Aeon that's going to be able to protect him against any reprisal from Vici Gaming. That's going to be the tier 3 down, but Man's going to pop his ultimate just for the extra damage here on the melee barracks. And Vici Gaming, they respond with a glyph. Now trying to control up Man as best as possible. Just disable him as many times.
Yeah, they're kind of by time right now.
Batrider only needs 20 seconds.
And they might have done it here.
Yeah, looking like it with that nice chain setup. The epicenter, now the finger attack coming up with the epicenter on the side. They almost finish up these heroes, and now they do manage to take out the Brood Mother. That is only going to be the first line. Meanwhile, Fate does die in the back lines. He does have a buyback, but Man needs to be able to retreat out of here. 5 more seconds. Still, the Batrider is here.
They didn't lose racks.
They did not.
They had to use the buyback on the Lion, but they didn't lose racks. This top tier 2 almost falls. They got the Aegis out of it too, but look at the buyback situation. 5-0, and that's really what matters late game. You had to use both your BKBs to Liquid, managed to keep theirs up. Fade had a buyback as well as DY.
Yang will be able to get outside of the base to get some bounty runes, and that will be his BKB. His initiation will be a lot stronger now, as all these times he's trying to blink in and lasso somebody, too many times he's been Yulesed immediately.
Yeah, I think at this point you just complete it up. You don't have buybacks on anybody. Saving for the timer, I think, is going to be a little bit rough, and Liquid trying to take advantage of this, where they know there's no Aegis and they're going to run into GH here. Might just get jumped up.
Managed to get the lasso onto GH, pulling him back to his doom as the sniper picks him apart.
That's their gem. They've got it back. Mind Control trying to run in.
Mind Control's maybe a little bit too far forward as the Flame Break pushes them in even deeper. Miracle will just go ahead and pop that Wukong's command. Let's just play it safe and make sure Vici Gaming are not able to win a more major fight than that. Just a simple pick off of the Sand King, we can forgive that.
That would have been disastrous if they lost the Enigma there too.
Yeah.
Still, buyback situation in their favor. Liquid just need to calm down. They can force this game 3 that everybody wants to see.
Matumba Man saying, if we can wait for my Lincolns, then I can hit high ground. We won't even have to worry so much about the lasso.
Yeah, it's just a little bit spooky right now for Liquid because they had the Aegis Cheese Refresher, Batrider dead, and they still didn't really feel comfortable all in committing for the high ground.
Oh, another form of great initiation, though. DY with the Blink Dagger between Yang having his BKB and this Lion with the Blink. I mean, this is how you change the entire nature of these team fights.
Yeah, and you're starting to get vision control again as Matumba Man.
If he pops it now and he spots Matumba Man, it would be a massive kill. He blinks forward, does see him. He's going to be able to lasso, and he gets away before the balance strike can land. He gets him into low ground. This is a massive kill. Matumba Man falls. Vici Gaming have him dead for 90 seconds now. I don't know if they can push out and do anything with this timer. Maybe they can just keep farming. But they have to be careful because Liquid, they're not scared of taking a fight right now. Everyone on their side has a buyback except for Kuro.
And look at the timing on that as Yang just barely blink dodges, since something was up as paparazzi. Miracle in a really good position.
They are going to be able to get a Miracle. Wukong wants to command off, and it's a big one too, but Vici Gaming have so many force stabs, they're going to be able to get away. Even Yang, who was slowed down very slightly towards the end, was able to limp away.
And it looked like it was a really good position by Miracle. I mean, it was. It's just there's so many force staffs on the side of Vici that their ability to disengage off of him is quite quick. It's mind control. Already down here to deal with the Nature's Prophet, who almost has that hex completed. And they now have the buybacks on their two major cores. They're high ground defenders. And even though you've got an 18k gold lead on Liquid, I mean, this is far from feeling like a done game.
Yeah, and Vici Gaming, look at this. They're actually going to start getting aggressive here with still another 25 seconds for the Broodmother. This is the perfect time to see if you can force a fight. The death timer is way too low for the Broodmother to want to buy back if there is an engagement, but they guess wrong. They smoke farther down. If they cut through mid, they would have found certainly one, maybe two pickoffs, maybe even an entire fight. They still have a chance, though. They're going to run into this back line. Curl, he's going to be caught up first with the BKB. He goes straight for the Enigma. The epicenter comes out from GH. A fast response from him and Miracle. A nice hit. Back control's almost dead. They need to finish him off now, and they do so. He does have a buyback, though, if he wants to be able to blow it. GH with the Yule Scepter onto himself. Immediately gets hexed up by DY. Vici Gaming, they win a full team fight here.
Paparazzi did have to use his buyback, though.
That is rough.
As
Fade. He got him. Tried to cut down the trees. Didn't actually get him in time. Miracle.
Oh, he barely missed on the tree and summit. If Miracle dies there at that point, that's when it becomes full-on disaster. But with the buyback on Paparazzi, not the worst position for Liquid to be in, but they know the word is up here. DY, they can't.
Miracle! What were you doing here? You surely had to have known about that ward. It was placed by the Furion. He does manage to get off his BKB, turns around, Boundless Strike, tries to go for the TP away, but gets up with the lasso.
Oh, no.
Vici Gaming, let's roll up that win probability, because they are certainly turning this game around, as you could see it beginning to dip down.
And you've got a hex on the Nature's Prophet. Miracle was given a freebie there to get out.
Yes.
That was his one chance at life. And now with 80 seconds dead for him, the bounty runes are about to respawn. They're about to collect another like 1.2k. With this time down,
there is still so many fights that Vici Gaming has to win.
Yeah.
In order to make this game go even.
But this is how it
Team
starts.
Liquid, it feels like they only need one, but this is how it starts. And every fight is getting a bit easier too, right?
You had a 20, I think it was like 23k gold lead. Now it's 12.
You've got Daedalus, Scythe of Ice. These are items you didn't have last fight. The fight before that, you didn't have BKB or Blink Dagger.
The rune of regeneration.
Radiant's top
But
tower
Liquid
is
just
under
need
attack.
one very solid initiation, and I feel like that's what's happening, right? Is Vici Gaming, they're the ones who are always finding the right opportunity for a fight.
Yeah. Just a little bit cleaner, and this is the mobility of their lineup, is how this happens.
Fade, no boots for life. I'm going to get mobility. Don't mind me. I'm going to get Force Staff. I'm going to get Blink Dagger. No boots, though.
It's just easier to play their late game.
Yeah.
I think. Liquid have done such a good job of keeping this game in the position that it is, but as it goes on, I think just for Vici, you sit back. And mind control, since the sick holes he did have early on, just hasn't been able to get in position. He hasn't even been able to pop this refresher. They keep him way far back at all times.
It reminds me of the long range, yesterday series. I can't remember who, but we were talking about just a long range poke against an Enigma. The same thing, right? With this Ember Spirit and Sniper so far in the back lines, it's difficult for mind control to be able to get close enough to blink anywhere near them without taking any damage. With the double Daedalus and now having the Sleight of Fist charges, and it's a massive amount of burst damage Paparazzi can deal. Ori, he's also caught up. It's just right behind Matumba Man and the rest of the game when it comes to net worth.
What are the BKB timers now? Oh,
9
Brute
seconds.
Yeah.
5 for Miracle.
6 for the
Mind
Enigma.
control, 6 seconds for him.
Okay.
I am mighty.
Double damage rune. This could mean a lot, but the smoke has already popped. Yang in a great position. GH blinks forward, trying to find anybody here, but he's got to be careful. That super long-range impale from the Limeys. He's gotten plenty of levels.
GH Gonna get assassinated. Poke down a little bit his Aeon Disc now on cooldown, but at least for now, Liquid not able to use that DD rune. They really wanted to take that fight.
Yeah.
Miracle still hanging around the area. Yang, he does have the initiation. He's pinging like crazy. He sees GH thinking maybe this is free, and indeed
They've
it
already
is.
loaded his Aeon Disc, so if they can actually get on top of him, there's no way GH could survive. They're laying out the damage. Look at that big burst from Paparazzi. He's already dead. Immediately, the buyback goes out. Matama Man, he couldn't find a jump because the Aeon Disc, which was freshly picked up on the Lion, saves him from the Broodmother.
And they get the gem that he bought. So our 23, 22K gold lead is now chipped down to 7. Liquid, you've got to be a little bit panicked, but calm down. There's no Bat Rider ulti anymore. You're still fine.
Yes.
You've had so many chances to reset this game.
We've won like 4 different fights from Vici Gaming and still like looking like an 80% win probability for Liquid. Liquid are going to come outside the pit though. Vici Gaming, we're looking to be able to get inside that Roshan pit with GH finding the initiation. Damage from Miracles. He's going to be taking up with the black hole on the right-hand side, though. Getting hit the Lion. But Sniper does have the buyback, though. He's going to blow it here. Paparazzi keeping his distance, though. Laying out more and more damage. But Tommy with the light steal. They blow the black hole, locking down Yang. He said as well. More and more buybacks and Nullifier coming out. But Paparazzi had a remnant. But Mind Control knew where he went to. He's going to stay on top of the Simmer Spirit. Now doesn't have buyback. Now the strike as well. He will fall. And he has no buyback. 2 minutes on the clock for him.
And they were looking for that one fight for the last 15 minutes or so, and like you said, you still favored Liquid's chances.
Finally, they put it together now, and Vici Gaming, they're going to have to fight up against Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard, and a 3 versus 5, as only Fade has the buyback here.
They were waiting so long for Mind Control to come through with the black hole.
Yeah.
That's what they were missing in these last engagements. They finally get it. It doesn't even matter who he gets it on at this point. With the BKB and his Lincolns, it's impossible for them to stop.
All right, this is going to take some very aggressive play and a lot of creative thinking here for Vici Gaming to make this 3-man smoke work for them somehow, but GH has already found the initiation instead of the other way around. They do have the Force Ass to defend, but at this point, Liquid,
just going for the throne.
as long as they just don't dive the fountain, they just go for the throne. Vici Gaming, they've got to find a way to be able to lure Liquid in here. Glyph is going to go down, 15 seconds for the Lion. Yang, Wukong's command goes out, and look at that AoE.
And they got to do something now.
Tear force up and fast. GH just going to go to the epicenter, make the initiation while the rest of the team goes for the throne. He just goes out as the throne's going to fall here, and that's it. Team Liquid will take game 2. They're going to a game 3.
We finally get that game 3 that we were looking for. The best part about a best of 3, you lose the first game, you win the next 2, every sin is erased. You're all good, you're all clear because you move on, and that's what matters. Liquid evening up this series. We finally get a